Hello, everyone. Welcome to another episode of Analysis Paralysis. I am Austin Harrison, and I'm joined by
Lilly Quatch
and Ashley Anderson.
And we are a weekly podcast bringing you news from the board game world, talking about active crowdfunding, probably talking a little bit about what's going on in IV, and yeah, just answering questions that the general, audience has. So, Lily, what are we talking about this week?
Yeah, so this week we're talking about Board Game Atlas, sleeving, and a Farms Race update.
Ooh.
Yeah. A little spicy.
It's a game about nukes, so it is going to be spicy.
All right, so what's going on in the board game industry news?
Yeah, so there's a lot going on in the board game world, but one of the things is that Board Game Atlas is actually closing. And they've actually already closed officially yesterday, but they are shutting down their website. It was something that was made to be a competitor or an alternative to Board Game Geek, but they are now unfortunately not able to keep going.
Did you have a preference between Board Game Geek and
Yeah,
Atlas?
I did lean towards Board Game Geek. So that is, I think, what ended up happening is a lot of people just deferred to Board Game Geek. Board Game Atlas, they had a good community with the group that was into it, but their issue was bringing in more people, whereas something like Board Game Geek, it's just such a wider audience that there's more information there for you. So I enjoy that more for like the forums and things like that, and like how they link things. That Board Game Atlas just didn't have as big of a community, and then because of that it's not as big of like a talking point with friends and things like that. They had user accounts and things like that now when you go to the website it's completely gone with like a little message saying like they're very sorry and they have to close. But anyone who had a user account, those are all deactivated the end of August.
Okay, so there's a little bit of...
I think there's nothing to log into though.
Oh.
I'm not sure.
Yeah, probably not.
Yeah.
It was like
if they wiped it.
Yeah.
It was like if you had like your whole collection on there or something as like a list, and then they had to, like...
I think though, especially if you're a regular user, you knew before the site got like shut down, so you could.
Oh, that's fair.
Yeah,
There's probably a warning about it.
yeah.
Yeah. Well, something else that's on the Board Game thing. I mean, Board Game Geek, actually.
Board Game Geek. Speaking of Board
Update
Game
on Board Game Geek. They have a new feature, I think it's called Sleeve It. That's a little button right next to when you say, like, buy a copy on, like, the overview page for games. So it'll actually tell you the size of all the sleeves and then the number of cards that are in the game. So you can actually buy sleeves for it that match it.
And the thing that I love about that is that you can buy the sleeves ahead of time. So for me, I'm someone that would buy a game and then have the components list, and that easily tells you and go from there. It's not hard once you have the game, especially if you're used to like the certain sizes of like standard card size, the half card size, tarot size. But the thing that it helps is that you can order the game and the sleeves at the same time, so immediately when it arrives you can sleeve immediately.
Comes all together.
And you can play immediately.
Yeah, and there are other ways you could do it. You can find rule books online and stuff like that, but this just makes it so simple.
It is.
And especially, I'm a huge advocate for sleeving your games. Especially if you're shuffling a lot, it's just so much smoother that I think it's very, very helpful.
Yeah, like you said, super convenient, and it's actually from like the work of this one person. Their name is Adam.
Thank you, Adam.
Right? I mean, apparently they were collecting this data over like a decade or so, and it was like 7,000 different games that they had this data. They were curating a geek list.
Yeah.
And so
That's
I guess
crazy.
Board Game Geek just came up to them. It's like, hey, we want to make this a feature.
Good job, Adam.
Yeah,
Thanks,
you.
Adam.
You're doing the world a justice.
Yeah, well, speaking of justice,
Oh.
we have an update, like we talked about on last week's episode, which you have, if you haven't seen it, go watch last week's episode. So Farms Race is back on Kickstarter, but not surprising, the parody pack is not. Now, instead of the parody pack, they're giving a neoprene like playmat instead. I mean, I think that that's cool, but at the end of the day, they're in this legal dispute. So essentially, they didn't want to try to go to court and have over a year long of legal trouble.
And I haven't looked since they took it down in the update, but do you know how this affected the funding?
Well, they had said that actually in their response. Farms Race had said, we were paused for a whole week. So the funding, obviously a whole week is a big chunk of time.
And I wonder if people took their pledges back as well.
Yeah, I mean, that's a
I'm
very big possibility, but Farms Race did say, like, we need all the help that we can get, which you dug the grave, you kind of got to lay in it now. So,
Yeah,
we'll
very
see,
curious what the result's going to be.
they're back, but the parody pack is unsurprisingly not.
Yeah.
So,
It's probably for the best.
yeah.
Yeah, and next we have crowdfunding campaigns, which is already talking about Kickstarter. So, what are you interested in this week?
This week I'm interested in Peacemaker's Horrors of War from Snowdale Designs. This is a kind of a relaunch campaign. Not relaunch, that's the wrong terminology. It's a re-implementation of an original game, which I believe was called Dawn of Peacemakers from Snowdale Design back quite some time ago. And since then they've done a lot of games, a lot of game design. They did Lands of Galzir, which was really well received. And they took one of their older games that was both liked, but also had a degree of, I guess, concern about the rules and things, like how accessible or easy it was to get into the game. Like, because the concept of the game is about making peace between different animal folk. Have either of you played Root at all?
I play a little bit of Root. I have
Yeah.
the app on my
haven't,
Switch.
Yeah.
But it's also a little bit complex to get into.
It is very complex. But so this one has it almost feels like you're the vagabond of Root, meaning you are an individual forest critter wandering around this land, and you're trying to make peace between two different nations. So two different warring armies and warring factions. You're trying to get them to de-escalate their conflict. And so your job is to try to kind of keep the sides balanced and keep the losses minimal as much as possible. You're going to take horror cards as losses happen to represent the toll war has on you, and that manages your resources. It's a cooperative experience where there's no one else is managing the factions. The factions operate according to their own cards, and it's your job to try to just control as much as possible across various scenarios. There's going to be 6 scenarios. Each one's unique, and it's not campaign-driven so much as it is scenario-driven. Yeah. But I really like, first of all, the graphic design. The way the game looks is beautiful, but the general theme of it is not something you usually see in games. So like I like the theme, I like the graphic design, I like the cute little animal meeples, and I'm excited to see this one brought back with they're focusing very heavily on making it more accessible or easier to dive into than it was last time.
Yeah, I think they took the feedback very well.
Yeah.
And then are implementing it now.
Yeah.
We always like to see that. With
And always a bonus when
projects.
there's animals involved.
Yeah,
Yes.
right?
So the meeples are gorgeous.
Yes,
They're
they
like very,
are.
very fun.
Great.
And it's a little dark, but I like the concept that as casualties happen, you feel the horror of war. I like that concept. And that's something that's new to this version of the game.
Very nice. I mean, speaking of horror and dark, I've got one that's a little
Ew.
A little dark, yeah.
A little
What you
dark.
got this week?
so it's called Eat the Reich, but it's spelled REICH, so it's kind of like Eat the Rich.
A little play on words.
Yes, I love that.
Love it.
Love puns. But
Is this new? Because I think I've heard that before.
yeah, it's on Kickstarter, and
Okay.
I think it's relatively new because the campaign's, I think, a few more weeks out.
Okay.
But it's an RPG, again, surprisingly for me. But this one's got a really cool theme. It's about vampires in, I believe, Paris or France, somewhere
cool.
in like Europe.
Yeah.
And you're playing as vampires who are battling against Nazis. So like the tagline of the game is you want to suck all of Hitler's blood.
This is very different for you. Normally you're like, perch.
And birds, right?
Yeah.
Cute little birds.
Little birds.
I think you'll find there's 2 sides to me. There's like the cute, like animal nature side, and then there's like the dark, like moody side. I told you like I like Raven from Teen Titans.
Okay.
That's I think
Makes sense.
that says a lot.
Yeah.
But basically, it's an RPG. It's a D6 system, which is I guess one of the more common ones. I think D20 is the most common, and then D6 is probably the follow-up to that. I'm not sure. But you get to play as vampires. There's one that's called a vampire called Flint, and he's a half man, half bat vampire who was born in a cave, and he doesn't talk. So I feel like Flint would be the perfect character for me in a role-playing game because I just want to sit there and just be like,
Do you actually just roleplay by not talking the entire time? Because I can do that.
I can totally do that, right? Like
Just sit
I
here.
play as Flint. Like,
Yeah.
and apparently he doesn't wear trousers either. So maybe don't implement that in your own game, but that's
keep
the
the
character
trousers
backstory.
So
Keep
you
the
play this
trousers
over
on.
Zoom? Is that what you're saying?
What was
You
that?
play this over Zoom?
You probably play. Oh, I see what you mean. Zoom attire. Zoom attire. Yes.
Zoom attire. That's funny.
That is cool.
Little switch
Yeah.
up for you this week.
Yeah. So I'm pretty excited about that.
That's awesome.
How about you?
Well, mine is pretty on par for me. This week, we're going to talk about Bear Mountain Camping Adventure.
Oh, good choice.
So, big hiker. Everyone knows now I'm from New England, so woodsy New England fall vibes. It's by Sweater Bear Games, 50 to 90 minute play, 1 to 4 players. It's a dual deck building game where you're moving. The map is beautiful. It looks like a trail map, which makes sense. And the goal is to get to the top, whoever can get to the top of Bear Mountain first. It really gets on the vibe of when you're on an actual hike, of the relaxing part, but still very intense, of the adventure and traveling. So they did a really great job, and the design is beautiful. You're moving between different campsites, and there's bears that can get in the way, and different cards you can take, like s'mores and bonfires and all different kinds of things. So it's fun. It has about a week left, so back it while you can. But it's super cool. And
Yeah,
fun.
I was very
Great
charmed by
design.
this one. I saw this one. It looked very, very cool. I backed it initially. I ended up canceling my pledge, but I was very intrigued by it. That it looked like parks. Looked very accessible. There's a double deck building system.
Yep.
There's a little bit of controversy around the campaign in the sense that they're doing this thing with pledge levels, where they keep adding pledge levels.
they keep
I
adding
did
it.
see
No,
that.
they have this concept where it's like the pledge is like $150, but there's a VIP pledge which is the exact same thing for $99, but there's only 14 spots left. But as soon as it hits
so
that
it's-
14 spots, they add 50 more, and they add 50 more.
Yeah.
Wait, so they keep adding
They
more
keep
spots.
adding limited spots.
Yeah, I
which-
did see that.
Yeah, there's some things on Facebook. There's some people who are not thrilled about it in terms of it just feels a bit like they're just stretching it along and giving you that perception of scarcity.
Limited quantity.
Yeah.
VIP moment.
Well, it still funded really well.
Yeah, no, it's doing
did.
incredibly well.
I mean,
it's
but
doing
it's a
incredibly
nature
well.
game. I
Yep.
think it's very on. I feel like it's like the year of the nature games.
Yeah, yeah.
So it could just be on trend.
All kinds of good things happening.
Yeah.
Crowdfunding. But-
Well,
yeah.
what games have we been playing?
So we've been playing a lot of games here in the studio the past week with so many guests. The first one that we both played, or all three of us were playing, is Splitto. And I played it last week with Mike, Tom, and Austin. And it was a lot of fun. And I can't remember who won. It wasn't me. But I think it might have been Mike. Mike did well. It was Austin and Mike were my partners. So it was a lot of fun. And you played yesterday?
I played
Yeah,
yesterday.
we played yesterday.
With Alex, Devin, Jenna, Austin, and myself, I believe.
Yeah.
I think
Did you
that
like
was the
it?
group. It was really fun.
Was it your
loved
first
it.
time playing it?
It was my first time playing
Okay.
it.
Me too.
And yeah, I was next to Austin, and then Jenna was right next to me as well. So great
Yeah.
partners to have.
Yeah.
And then I won the first round.
Yeah, you did so well. Like
I
80
just-
points?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know what it was. It was a glitch.
It was me.
It was all Austin. And then the second time we played it, I think Alex and Austin tied, but then Alex won because he had less cards in his pools.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that was a really fun game. It's like a great intro party game.
Yeah.
Where
And it like forces you to work with the people beside you, which is really
Yeah.
fun.
some cooperation, but still competitive enough where
Yeah.
you
And
still want to
have,
win.
Yeah, and you still have to like make your own decisions. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I liked Splitto, and we also played Next Station Tokyo, which it was a little bit of an off day for Ashley. I didn't really understand how to play. And so I've heard that the London version is a little bit...
You should have started with that.
Yeah.
As an intro.
So, but I'm determined to figure out how to play. So,
I think they were chatting about playing it again today.
yes,
so.
I
will
just
learn
need to
with you because I
Yeah.
haven't played it yet.
I just need, for the sake of just being able to sleep at night, I need to learn how to play.
I think to be
Yeah.
fair, Tokyo subway stations are so confusing.
That's
There's
what it,
so
so
many
so
of
it
them.
makes
Yeah.
sense.
So I think it actually fits the game
Yeah.
theme well.
Yeah.
It matches the real life.
Yeah, so I'm determined to learn. But
Yes.
that's another game we're playing.
Yeah. Looking forward to that.
Yeah.
I played Flamecraft recently.
I
Yeah.
love Flamecraft.
It's so cute.
good.
I
It's
love
so
the
good.
names of all the dragons. Like you have potato and
Potato?
bacon.
Yeah.
This is
And
incredible.
I don't know, like
There's
loaf?
like different types of dragons. Loaf is my favorite.
Yeah.
This is a game I can
Bread
get behind.
dragon.
Yeah, you have,
Oh
you
my
have
God,
bread
you need to
dragons, you
play it.
have like smithing dragons and
Meat
meat
dragons.
dragons, and then like
The little,
crystal
like-
dragons,
Yeah, and like
silver
the plant
dragons.
dragons
Yeah,
too.
it's a
this
very
sounds
cute
lovely.
game. And I think you're building a town where these dragons are, taking up these different jobs and shops. And so you visit all these shops to collect resources.
Yeah,
to
it's a big
complete
resource
objectives.
management game. Mm-hmm.
And I think I played it with 2-player, but I think it'd be even more fun with more people.
It is
There's
really
more
good with
options.
like 4 players. It runs a little bit long, but if you play with 4 people that like know what they're doing, then
Yeah.
Yeah,
yeah,
you
it's
can do
really
like
fun.
2 separate 2-player games first, and then do a 4-player.
Yeah, exactly.
That's the way to do it. What
Yep,
have you been
yep.
playing, Austin?
I've been playing a game called Tiger vs. Dragon, which is from Oink Games. And usually Oink Games come in these like little tiny boxes, but this one is slightly bigger, and they have like mahjong tiles of different numbers. There are red numbers and blue numbers, and you are basically going around and fighting the person beside you. So you have to start off your turn saying, I'm going to attack with this number, and then the person beside you has to defend with the same number. If they have that mahjong tile. If they do not have it, they have to say pass, and then it'll go to the next person. If they can't defeat you, and it comes back to you, you get to place a mahjong tile down like face first. And basically you're trying to get rid of all of your mahjong tiles, and then the last one is going to be the one that you get points for. So you're kind of having
only
to
the last
play
one
out.
scores?
Yes. So you're trying to play out the specific ones. There's a bunch of different scenarios where the last tile is like different things. So you'll like try to maybe for one of them play the highest number, the other one the lowest number, different things like that. I've only played one scenario of it. We just continue playing the easiest one, but yeah, it's very fun. It's very like simple, but then like the puzzle of trying to play out the mahjong tiles and then have like the one last one. It's very, very fun.
I like that the last one is the only one that scores. How long does a game usually last? Like
It's pretty quick.
10, 15 minutes?
Yeah.
That's what I was thinking.
Oh, that's nice.
Yeah, it's really good. Yeah,
And it's
then
still portable.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. It's actually pretty heavy because of all the mahjong tiles.
Oh, I
but-
bet.
yeah. And then there was also Aurum from Pandasaurus Games, which is a trick-taking game, but it kind of flips it. And instead of trying to play the same suit as everyone else in a trick-taking game, you're trying to not play the same ones. You have to play a different suit than everyone. Yes.
The opposite of what the trick takings usually are.
Yeah.
Yes, and then you're bidding at the beginning how many tricks you're going to win. So you have to, bid the exact number. If you don't, then you don't get any points. And then you also get the trump cards if you play the lowest number. So usually in a trick-taking game, when you play the lowest, you lose. But in this one, you kind of get like a reward, which is really fun.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's really good.
That sounds a lot of fun.
Yeah. Is trick taking one of your favorite genres?
It's starting to be.
Yeah.
Yeah. I really enjoy it. I'm trying to get more. So
Yes, Cat in the Box. Great one
yes,
as well.
Cat in the Box is so
I like it's cute. I mean,
yeah, cats.
yeah, cats are a favorite. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's awesome. We have tons of people coming to the studio. Who's all coming?
I'm so excited. I
Yeah.
always love it when we get to bring people to the studio. It's one of my favorite things. And so we have got an absolute full slate these couple weeks.
It's a
so,
lineup.
we just recently had, Dice Tower and Danielle. And now we get Alex from Board Game Co., Professor Meg, and Jenna from the Board Game Garden.
Yeah.
Really stoked, really stoked. I have a reputation to uphold. I like to tell people when they come to the studio that I'm really good at the games that we design and that I win all of the time. And I set myself
do
up
say
for
that,
failure
yep.
because then I always lose after I say
Always.
that. But it's really fun to
Yeah.
just like keep that lie going and just have that mental
Yeah.
attitude about my superiority with board games. Like you kicked my butt, Ashley.
I did.
In
A few times, different
Yeah.
games.
Yeah, just so many
She's-
games.
She's keeping count.
Yeah, no,
Yeah,
I mean
2
I am
times.
too. I talked to my therapist about it.
The 2 times I beat you. I keep it in check.
2 for 2.
You have to reassure yourself,
I get that. I'm stoked. I'm always thrilled when
Yeah.
we're able to bring people to the studio, and I can't wait to see the content that we go out. I know that the community is already aware of some of it, but I just love having people here,
Yeah.
and I'm so thankful
Yeah.
for you two. You guys are awesome.
Thanks.
I was
Aw,
kind of like
thanks.
a lost puppy in the mall before you two, and you've really grounded me and helped
Puppy
round
in the
out the
mall.
team. So
We're
thank
good.
you guys so much.
Yeah, you're welcome.
I need help.
You're glad for being here. Yeah. We have.
Don't we all?
I know, we have so many.
Amen. We
Yeah.
always need help.
But we have more people coming now, too.
Yeah, there's still more people coming.
There's Devin. We have the brothers Murph coming. We have Grant Lyon coming.
Yeah.
To be fair, Devin was not invited. That guy just invited.
But he just
he
showed up.
showed
He
up.
just showed up out.
Yeah.
Like a lost puppy in the mall.
Uncomfortably.
We've had a good
Like,
time.
yeah, maybe that's something that
Yeah.
we share in common, me and Devin.
We just
Yeah.
had a knock on the door. We're like, do we let this guy in? He's kind of weird.
Speaking of like who's yet to come, though, that kind of like makes me think about what's coming up next, and like
Oh,
we
yeah.
are really honing
We're
in
so
on the launch
close.
for Mythic Mischief.
It's 3 weeks
3
out.
weeks.
Yeah, it's still a lot to do.
Lot to do.
A long to-do
But-
list.
Yes.
There's a long, but
So we have a
Yeah.
new show, Crokinole Queries.
Ooh.
And we have lineup of great guests. Zach getting beat. It's just a normal
Spoiler.
occurrence. But
Who comes up with the questions? Is it?
I think
is
it's
it
all
one of you
Zach.
two?
Zach just kind of, it's
His-
all up
his
here.
brain
It's all
is-
up there. He's got more than 12 for sure.
more than 12 brain cells.
So,
Yes.
Maybe like 13. Give him one more.
Wow.
Just kidding. I don't stand by that comment.
That's fair. That's fair.
But we do have some things to actually talk about that we can let you guys know on. We have
Let's do it.
mailbag.
Mailbag.
What do we got going on in the mailbag?
Ooh, okay. So this is from Zach D6404 from one of our past videos. I think we want to talk about what's been your latest AP moment. It's very on brand.
I've got one.
Yeah.
And
I think I know what you're saying.
Yeah, so we talked about it a little bit previous in this show, but Next Station Tokyo was an analysis paralysis moment. Next week, I'll let you guys know that I have redeemed myself and figured it out. So, but just being able to, the wheels were turning, and I had some analysis paralysis. So that would be mine.
What's yours?
Mine. I mean, this could, if we're talking about board games, that's one thing. We're just talking about like existential crises. I
that's all the time.
All of the time.
Yeah.
So, not sure I can dial in on any one moment.
Fair.
I would say probably the 3 catch puzzles that we've been doing recently. So,
Mind bend.
like Zach and Sam and Jordan and you two, I feel like have been absolutely killing it. I have been hapless.
done one,
I
but
haven't been able to really hone in. Mythic Mischief is one of those games that I know that I've helped design it. I don't get it. I am just so
Fair.
unequipped to deal with those spatial puzzles. It's not something my brain adheres to well, and I'm kind of embarrassed sometimes because it's kind of like just the chat around the office as to like how dense it is for me to try to wade through like a game like this. I don't really know what to do, and I think what was it? Everybody else in the office solved the 3 catch puzzle, and then I think I was the only one that didn't. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I feel like I'm letting down the team.
It's okay. There's always a second chance. We have more. You could try.
Yeah, I appreciate that. I appreciate that.
So my moment was actually making those 3 catch puzzles for this week.
It was tough.
Yeah, Jordan and I sat down and we were staring at the board and like, what do we do? how do we make this puzzle?
In your defense, I do think that the creation of a puzzle is much harder than the actual solving of a puzzle. I commend you for creating a puzzle. And you stumped me. I couldn't figure it out, so.
True. Yeah, Austin, you had a little bit of a hard time.
A little of a struggle.
It's just not been my week, guys. It's not been my week.
Next week will be your week. It's fine.
I'm gonna positive attitude. I'm going to actualize and realize that moment, that success ahead of time. Manifest my own destiny.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Well, it's someone's week. It may not be yours, Austin, but it's someone's week.
someone's
We have
week.
giveaway.
All right, so this week's winner,
Drumroll.
is Daniela Perello. I think I'm saying your name right.
I would have said
Forgive me.
Perello, but you're probably right.
I,
So, either
I'm
way.
assuming things,
know.
but I hope that's the right way to say it.
Yeah.
If not,
How
I
do they find you?
apologize. Find me on Discord. Cat picture, Lilly,
Can't miss it.
parentheses, Ivy Studio.
Yep.
Just let me know, and then we can get you either the game expansions or merch if you
Awesome.
already have the game. So let us know.
Yeah. Well,
And
that
then-
felt like a really short episode. I feel like I didn't have a ton to say, but y'all really carried it, so thank you.
Thanks. Yeah, we put in a lot of work this time.
Yeah, I thought there was a lot of things that were said. I think it was.
Oh, is it longer?
I don't have a watch
Time
on,
must have
but-
flown by.
I did.
But yeah, how should we close out? Can we think of a fun question or something to do?
Yeah.
What
Okay,
kind of fun
so in
question?
the comments below for next week's giveaway,
Uh-huh.
comment what your favorite Pokemon is.
Uh-huh. Do we get to say ours now, or do
I
we
would love
wait?
it. Yes. Okay.
To be
Ashley,
so fair, I don't think I know enough about Pokemon to have a
I
favorite.
think you can guess one.
you can
though.
probably guess at least one.
I can't name Pikachu.
I mean,
That
you
is
just
not-
did.
no,
It's
guys,
perfect.
don't
There's
cancel
nothing
me in the
wrong with.
comments.
There's nothing wrong with liking Pikachu. I mean,
All right. So I had a holographic, I think it's Rhinoceron. I'm probably saying it wrong, as a kid. And I loved it. And so that's my choice.
was that the only holographic Pokemon?
It's
card
one of
you
the
had?
only holographics I had. Yeah. Because I didn't buy a ton.
pretty cool, though.
I was pretty young. I
feel like
think
a
I
lot
was like 6 or 7.
I feel like a lot of people had like holographic Charizards.
Oh, yeah.
Or Mewtwo's and Mews. I think
Yep.
that was like the big thing back then.
This is my one. And I was really early on Pokemon.
I love those.
Like
Yeah.
at the start of
Yeah.
Pokemon. Yeah. All right,
One
so what's
to
your
be
favorite?
Oh, for me? Okay, it's hard for me to choose. I like Bulbasaur a lot.
Mm-hmm.
Classic. But Cyndaquil?
Okay, I don't even know what Cyndaquil looks like.
Yeah, I can't.
Cyndaquil is like a little, not like a naked mole rat, but
Interesting.
I don't
That's
know
an
what
interesting
exactly
favorite.
it is.
That's an
It's
interesting
like,
favorite.
I don't even know what you call
We'll
it.
throw a
Like
picture up of it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It has this like blazing fire coming from its back,
Okay.
and its eyes are always shut.
Okay.
So how does it see?
So I think it's a mole.
It does sound like a mole.
Yeah, right?
Yeah.
But it's super cute.
A
All right.
super
It's
then
not
naked
sounding cute,
mole
so I'm
rat.
going to have to look at
and
a
it evolves
picture.
into Typhlosion.
Oh.
Typhlosion.
You're not going to get any help from me and Ashley. I'm sorry.
Anyways, a really cool Pokemon. So.
All right, awesome. We'll put a picture up.
Yeah.
Thanks for watching, everybody. We'll see you
Yeah.
next week on Analysis Paralysis.
Bye, guys.
I'm Austin, though. Remember that.
Oh, right, of course.
So
We did,
I gotta
she
get
did
into
call
character.
Jenna Austin in the last
did.
segment.
That's
so.
great. That's great.
Now it's your turn to call.
Well, now we
Austin.
have to do it to keep.
Yeah,
the
but
bit
I
going.
don't think I can keep a straight face with it.
I mean, it's normal for you to laugh at Austin, though. It's okay if you laugh. You're just laughing at Austin.
Yeah, but